Celebration time. Come on. Do. What? Celebration time. Come on. Let's celebrate and have a good time. Everybody now. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Viva Los Bills. I'm your host, Will Cologne, a.k.a. Buffalo Will, as you see right there, right here. Whoa. You know where it is. Anyway, I'm joined by where's Vinny again? Where's Cousin Vinny? Cousin Vinny won't be joining us today unless he chimes in somehow. As we all know, Vinny, he's a truck driver. He's on the road. He got called into work. So he's probably going to be listening to us. But as of right now, it's just me flying solo. Maybe Big Bobby Blackjack will hop on later. But right now, I'm alone. Big question is, hey, Will. And I'm like, what? Can you last an hour? I think I may be able to last an hour. Anyway, as always, we're on I-95 Sports Network. We'll also should be on Viva Los Bills on YouTube. Hey, watch it, subscribe, follow us, make comments. Also, we're on channel 198 on Zingo TV. Let me slow down a little. We're on Zingo TV. We're on Facebook. We're on our group page on Facebook at Viva Los Bills. So follow us there. Join us. And as always, hey, the Buffalo Bills won. So you know what time it is, right? Hold on. I got to go to my left, even though I'm going to point it that way. It's my left. Now I'm going to go grab my little cooler from my boys, the Yankee cooler. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers. And all right, let's keep going here. And as always, we pop this bad boy here. I'm going to close the cooler to keep it cool. And we're going to grab one of the medallas when we win. And congratulations, cheers to the Buffalo Bills, to everybody out there listening, watching, grab your beer. Hey, here we go as always. Cheers to the Buffalo Bills. Let me grab a sip. That's cold, and it always tastes better after a win. So there we go. Let me put this bad boy here till my next sip. Well, not yet. Coming up soon. And there, I always try to do a little ditty, even though I can't sing. I sing a little song, but I'm going to have to sing a song again because it is happy belated birthday to who? There it is on Tuesday, 1959. The Buffalo Bills were granted an AFL franchise, Mr. Ralph Wilson Jr. The first season began following year. Happy birthday, Buffalo Bills. It's their 61st birthday. So happy belated birthday to the Buffalo Bills, the team we all follow. And I was thinking about it. I've been a fan for 30 years. 30 years. Good Lord, that's a long time. That's almost half the time they've been around. So I've been a fan since I was 15. So there you go. Everybody knows now I'm 45. I'm an old man. But happy birthday to the team we all follow, the Buffalo Bills. So there we go. Got that out of the way. Good thing for the Buffalo Bills. One thing we didn't touch upon last week was that the Gula is actually up, signed for trading rights over the Bills Mafia. How do you feel about that? If you have a comment, let me know. I thought it was a little iffy. I mean, they're business people. They're taking it. I don't know who came up with the whole Bills Mafia 26 or Bills Mafia as it was. But, hey, now it's theirs. Kind of like, man, I don't know. It's kind of messed up, but I hope whoever came up with the idea is making some money off of it, and it just doesn't go straight to them. Now, the Buffalo Bills last week played the New York Jets. It was a field goal fest. It was kind of ugly, but hey, they won. One thing I do like about it was our defense stepped up big and shut the Jets down in the second half. I mean, I think they gave up only 4 points. But we're going to get to that, as always. Let me talk about some of the news going on in the NFL. I got to keep it slow, keep my pace, being I have to last an hour with no Vinny or anybody else. Like I said, chime in. It helps. My buddy, Paul McGovern, he's a Pat fan. He was going to come and join us tonight. But he got stuck at work, too. So everybody's doing what they have to do, and they're putting in their work. So they don't get to hang out with me or anybody else and waste some time because we don't get paid for this. This is fun. Like I said, it's a show by the fans for the fans. Just like everybody else out there, having a good time talking and BSing while we do a little show for everybody out there to watch. As always, let me try to flip something here. Do this. I got to keep this low because I'm by myself. Now let's get into some of the news going around the league. Trade deadline's coming up in November 4th, so there's some people already making some moves. One of the moves made was made by the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys traded Everson Griffin to the Lions for a conditional 6th-round pick. The Lions eat some of that. The Cowboys are going to eat some of that salary cap that was to go to him, and the Lions are picking it up. Got a good guy. Look at this bum, my buddy over here, Dave Brown, talking about go Vikings. Nobody cares about the Vikings right now, Dave. How you been, man? Hopefully everything's okay. Keep the comments coming. I always put everything out there, no matter what it says. Well, maybe not whatever it says. But what's up, Dave? Thanks for commenting. Another thing, the Ravens, we talked about it last week. Des Bryant did pass the COVID-19 protocol. I guess they liked what he saw after his physical, and they signed him to his practice squad. So good for the Ravens. They're getting deeper. If Des could go out there and contribute, hey, that's good. He could contribute. And there goes Mr. Dave laughing out loud. Good. I always shared laughs with Dave. We used to work together back in the day. Good guy. He's also known as the Phenom. I think it was the Phenom. One person who won't be signing to the practice squad is Eric Reed. The Washington Football Club gave him an option, asked him, hey, gave him a chance to sign with them on the practice squad, see what he could do. Eric Reed said, I just don't think playing on the practice squad is reflective or indicative of my career. Oh, that's why he told Rob Madadi of the Associated Press. Also, he said, I'm just not in a place to play on the practice squad right now. If they go in a different direction, I'll be ready. So I guess he doesn't want to show what he can do at this point, I mean, listen, Des Bryant, he's out there going on to the practice squad. Most of these people coming in are going on to the practice squad to see where they are physically, to see where they are. He hasn't been playing. I'm saying the last time he played was the 2018 and 2019 season. For who? Coach Rivera. By the way, congratulations to Coach Rivera. He went through his last round of chemo. Guy never even missed a game on the sidelines, went through chemo. Guy's a beast, man. God bless him. Hopefully he's doing okay. Hopefully he's cancer-free. So how are you going to tell me, I don't want to hear like Eric Reed is not getting a shot. He was considered to be blackballed by the NFL along with Kaepernick. But now they're giving him a shot, and he's saying, no, I don't want to be on the practice squad. Who's to say you go on the practice squad? They have their strong safety. Landry, I believe, is hurt. So why not go out there, show what you could do? You might be on the starting squad next week. You still got to put in your time. Whoa, what? Wait, what? What's this? Donnell Lee, too. I'm getting there, Vinny. This guy's already calling out stuff early. He's not even on here. He's driving on the big rig on the Uber highway. He's like, Will, get to this. Man, it's too early, Vinny. Too early, Vinny. Try to say, Vinny, keep commenting. It helps, man. Sitting here trying to make this last an hour, or at least whatever the time I do. This a little bit helps. Just for you, I'm going to take a little swig. You can't swig. You're driving, buddy. All right. That's there. Listen, Eric Reed, join the practice squad. Show what you could do. You'll be signed to like the starting squad, the 53-man roster. You're not better than anybody else out there. You got to go through the steps. And they're giving you a gateway to get in. You prove what you could do. Next year, you'll probably get another contract. I mean, those are the steps. You know this. You've been in the league for a long time, or you've been blackballed a little, but hey, you had an option to get in. There was the door. They opened it for you, and you just stood in the doorway. You got to get in, do what you got to do. As we all know, the only undefeated team right now is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Good for them. I kind of hope that they stay undefeated until we play them. Hopefully, like old school grandmas, I'm a 45-year-old man, so the old abuelas back in the day used to have their chancletas. A chancleta is a slipper, but their slipper was made of a very hard plastic, and there was leather on top. And then they would hit the shit out of you if you acted up with that chancleta. And I mean, you could be like 10 feet away, and they would take this chancleta, lean back, and just throw it, and it would go sideways, pretty much like this. But then when it got to your face, somehow it would turn. It would turn it like, whap! Don't get smacked with the chancleta. We want to smack the Pittsburgh Steelers up with the chancleta. Listen, I see Vinny here. I don't know if I'll be able to hear him. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Hey, Vinny! You hear us? Vinny, you try to chime in? I don't see Vinny. Vinny's gone. Get out of here, Vinny. Let's smack you with the chancleta coming in here, half stepping. Hopefully, maybe he'll be able to pop on. He'll get his stuff working. Maybe even can say hello. All right, let's keep moving on. The one thing the Cowboys did do a few days after they signed Everson Griffin was they released Dontre Poe, who was a one-time first-round draft pick of the Kansas City Chiefs defensive tackle. And they also released – whoa, look at Bobby Blackjack popping on in there. What's up, Bobby? How's it going?
What's up there, Buffalo Will?
Not much, man. This is a first right here, Bobby jumping on like this.
I'm full of surprises.
There you go.
Keep going.
Okay, real quick. They also released cornerback Darryl Worley. Two guys, the Bills, if they want to look for some depth, they could go out there and reach out and try to get. Dontre Poe, he's good against the offense. The run. 6'3", 346 pounds. This is the kind of guy I've been saying they need, one of those meat and potato guys to slow down the rushing game in the middle. You know, why not go out there and see if you can get him cheap for a year, see what he could still do. It might help us on the defensive line. I mean, why not? You have money. Go get this guy. The Cowboys are paying for most of his salary anyway, you know. News on Bobby's team here. The Giants, they're putting Will Hernandez on the COVID-19 list. So that's not good. And the Chargers also today, they canceled practice due to a positive COVID-19 test. They didn't post a player unless it came on later on during the day, but they canceled for precautions. Let's see how it goes. Also, quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Gardner Minshew is reported to have multiple thumb fractures and also a sprained ligament in his throwing thumb. So he's not going to be playing. That just opens the door for the Jaguars also to compete for that number one spot in the draft, looking for a quarterback. So you might see Mike Glennon over there swinging the ball in Jacksonville for them. Quick also, what is this? ESPN, I was looking at the ranks again. ESPN has us at 8. Last week, we'll stay at 8 for this week. And the CBS Sports rankings, we're up to 8th from 9th from last week. Then he's chiming in, telling us he doesn't have service right now, so that's why we couldn't hear or see him. So maybe we'll hit that later. Maybe he'll pop up and say hi, like I said. Bobby, what's going on over there, bud?
Not much there, Will.
Not
So you get a little nervous about your team or what?
No, but I'll tell you this before we go into more news later, is that, you know, they're playing New England this week, and they're going to have to win this game because the stretch after that is pretty damn tough. And they're going to have to strap up their boots, like you say, and they're going to have to play hard. They got a bunch of tough games coming up, starting with Seattle after this week, and that's not going to be an easy game. That's kind of the matchup I said might be in the Super Bowl, is Seattle against the Buffalo Bills. Maybe I'm crazy, but that's what I'm looking at, or I think is a possibility. I mean, what about you? What do you think? What are you seeing?
I don't know. They got to start playing. I mean, what do you think happened the past few weeks?
The defense.
That, you know, is it out injuries?
Well, you had the injuries, which is pretty big, which you lost Levi Wallace. Everybody, Vinny's one who thought Norman would take that spot. I thought Levi should stay on the opposite corner of White. White against Tennessee, he was out. I mean, they had players out too. It just keeps adding up. Feliciano's out, but he's finally coming back this week, which is huge. Yeah, like everybody else, but everybody's dealing with injuries. You can't just, blame injuries out there for that. You got to get the job done. Tom. That's right. I called that close game. Jets just couldn't score in the second half, but Buffalo looks like trash. Tom, thanks for starting to fire me up like you do every week. I mean, the game was close. Bills did just kick field goals, but there were, what was he, 6 for 8? So you could have tacked on an additional 6 points onto that. And not even that, if this team went out there, I mean, they had one touchdown called back, fine, doesn't count. But if they went down there and scored at least 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, it would have been a blowout. They just couldn't get the ball in the end zone. Kudos to the Jets for keeping it close. The Bills.
Real quick, on the Jets themselves. I actually watched that game because it was Sunday. It was Giants already played on Thursday and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you have a Bill show here, but I don't think Sam Darnold is the problem there.
I don't
get him some more three hands line, and he's fine.
Well, that's what I always say. Usually when it comes to the Jets and the Giants, I think it comes down to their offensive line. I'm not an Adam Gase fan. I didn't think they should have signed him. The guy didn't really do that good of a job in Miami. You know, he had, I think, one good season. They try to help that offensive line out. They do have a lot of injuries. I talked to Jordan, our buddy who came on, and Justin, who came on last week as well. We talk about it. If Perriman's healthy, if Mims healthy, if all these guys are healthy, they got a pretty good – you have Crowder, Perriman, and Mims. That's a pretty good 3 wide receiver set right there. And their tight end's pretty good too. Their offensive line is a little shaky. Their defensive players, they've lost – it was a big hit when C.J. Mosley didn't play. They ended up trading Adams. That was pretty big of a hit too. Those were 2 of your main guys. So if they make some smart moves in the offseason, I think they could be competitive again. Darnold, there's times he'll overthrow a receiver just by a yard or 2, but nobody's saying that. He does look a little iffy sometimes. Honestly, I think the kid needs a change. I think he just needs a change. He's going to be in there. He's not going to get a shot. If they get the first-round pick, if they don't trade it, he's going to get booted. He's going to be like a Sam Rosen, but at least he got a few years to start. There's rumors that he might get traded to Pittsburgh, or Pittsburgh likes him. It'll be good. Rudolph hasn't shown, or Mason hasn't shown really what he can do, or he hasn't been that great. So if they think Darnold could go in there and take the reins from Big Ben like in a year or 2, why not? You probably could get him for a 5th or 6th round pick, which is sad to say. First round, they're probably going for a 5th or 6th.
I think Ryan Tannehill has set the precedent of quarterbacks getting a second chance. So
I've argued with Miami fans in the past. One of my buddies, I have a few buddies that are Miami fans. One guy I work with, Tony, he used to trash Tannehill. And I said, Tannehill's not a bad quarterback. You give the guy weapons, he could put up numbers. When he had Charles Clay was looking great. He had over, 1,000 yards as a tight end. You gave him weapons, and then eventually, pretty much what they did to Sanchez, you started taking the weapons away, and Tannehill wasn't playing well. But you give the guy weapons, and he's good. He's a good quarterback. He's not going to lose you the game. And he doesn't need to carry the team. You got Henry to do that. But last year, everybody's like, Henry. There was a few games Henry got pretty much stopped. Tannehill threw for over 200 and 300 yards. The guy's got skills. He could play, and that's why they paid him. And he's showing it. Like I said, I think Darnold just needs to get out of New York, man. He needs a change of scenery. That's what I think. Tom, what's this? What did he say? I owe an apology. Okay, he did say, let's put this out here because I always tell these guys I'll put this stuff out. Tom Casey, I owe me an apology. I owe me an apology, or you owe me an apology, Tom. Vinny and I both said it was going to be a close game. I even said take the Jets. They're not going to win, but they're going to cover the spread. I said that. Darnold is toast. I think you put this out. I think they're just going to run him out of town. I mean, hopefully, like I said, he'll get a change of scenery. If he goes to Pittsburgh, I think that'll be the best spot for him. Sit behind Big Ben a year or 2, and then just go.
Or the Colts.
You think the Colts? I'm surprised they gave up on Jacoby like that. I wouldn't have signed Phillips, and I wouldn't have done that. That's one thing I wouldn't have done. But whatever, it's the Jets. Let's see what they do. They're going to be in the top at least 3 picking. Let me see something here. Oh, I had reached out to what's his name, Ricky from the Pipe Bomb Show. See if he wanted to hop on, but he's actually doing the show too right now. So, all right, let's get back into some news here. Let me see what I got over here. Let me look at the banners. Bam. All right. So last week we were talking about this game. This was our game day roster from the Bills PR. You know, nothing really changed. Trent Murphy ended up playing this week. You know, Harrison Phillips still sat. One of the kids, Dane Jackson, a rookie, he finally got a shot to play, and he looked pretty good. Deion Lacey was activated for this game. And Deion Lacey, actually, after a game or 2 weeks, a few days later, he got released by the Bills. But guess what? A day after that, bam, they signed him back to the practice squad. So he's been up and down, but he's still on the team. He's on the practice squad. They like what he puts in. The game, like I said, it was a field goal fest, man. What was he? 6 for 8. He made field goals from 53 yards, 48 yards, 46 yards, 37 yards, 29 yards. He tied Steve Christie record for the most field goals kicked in a game, and it was set against the New York Jets as well. So it wasn't the first time we had a field goal fest against the Jets. Another thing, Beasley, he had 11 catches for 112 yards. I mean, everybody was trashing Allen. He still threw for over 300 yards. He had 60 yards rushing. He just didn't get the ball in the end zone. You know, what is this? Vinny chimed in. Trevor Lawrence don't even want to go to the Jets. And that's a possibility. He hasn't said it straight, but he said, hey, there is a chance like he could go back to school or stay in school. I mean, to me, what do you think about that, Bobby? These guys coming out saying, hey, I'd rather just stay in school if I don't want to get picked by a team.
I think it's Darryl Sweeney and Nick Saban. I call him Nick Saban. They have too many connections with the NFL, so there's too many pipelines where they can get information that other quarterbacks can't in the college ranks, right? So I don't know. I think Notre Dame's going to spank his ass next week in South Bend. He's gonna go home crying to his family, and he's gonna go to the NFL. I mean, but you know, for someone who's only he's a junior now, right? I don't know. I mean, the Jets are gonna do whatever it takes to put whoever you want around them. So why wouldn't you go there?
Yeah.
You know, when you're a star quarterback or star anything in New York City, biggest media market in the world, you're a star. Well, were you afraid of being a star, Lawrence? Were you afraid of the spotlight? And if you are, then go to Jacksonville then. Yeah. Go hide in Jacksonville. Well, if you want to be a star and make millions of dollars outside of your NFL contract, you come to New York and you succeed.
Yeah, it's true. Because if you're winning in New York, you're going to get everything handed to you. It doesn't matter. You're going to have to have thick skin. If you don't have thick skin, don't even come here. You're right, like you said. I mean, look at Eli all those years, man. That guy just took the abuse, and when it was good, it was good. And when it was nasty, it was nasty. He was always the same. I never cheated.
Guys recently, you mentioned Eli. Eli is a family man, right? So he's very quiet. Then you had Derek Jeter for all those years, who was very quiet, but you've heard the stories. You're in the sports media business area. He had his harem of women coming out of his head house all those years he was single, right? And all the endorsements he had and whatnot. Where else are you going to get that?
Yeah, it's true. It's great. Like I said, if you do well in New York, you're set. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want, as long as you're winning. You stop winning, then you're going to have to deal with the headaches, And
the other side of the coin, real quick, look at Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley getting caught at a bar last week without a mask on. Why? Because somebody offered him a drink in the private bar. And someone took a picture of it. So, I mean, there's a good and a bad, but you will be front and center.
Oh, yeah.
For all it's worth.
It's all eyes on you. And you have to, like I said, you have to have thick skin, and you got to be able to deal with the media because you're going to deal with a lot of media. Getting back to this game real quick, the one thing I liked about it, which was huge, was that the Bills' defense, they adjusted, man. They showed up for this game. They held the Jets to 4 yards in the second half. Insane. They shut them down. Totally different from the last few weeks. I understand it's the Jets. I understand the Jets don't have that great of an offensive line, but still they put in the work and they did what they had to do and they shut them down. to be able to hold them to win with a field goal fest. You know, it was great. So I can't really complain about that. Another thing was there was a big hit in this game. Did you watch the whole game, Bobby?
I mean, I was in and out of watching it, but I had it all the time. I was chilling. It was before work.
Did you see the hit by Michael Hyde on Perryman?
No.
Oh, all right. So Michael Hyde, Perryman, they're driving, throw the ball to Perryman. Perryman catches the ball. Well, he had it in his hands. Michael Hyde nails him, knocks him out. This is towards the end of the game when the Jets were trying to get a drive to come back. They kicked Michael Hyde out, said defenseless receiver, which drove me crazy because the ball was in his hand. I was texting my buddy Jordan back and forth, like, yo, what did you think about that hit? He's like, oh, no, it was a dirty hit. And I was like, it wasn't a dirty hit. Stop it. You can't be telling me it was a dirty hit because he nailed him really good. I mean, we would cover us partly here. This picture, I mean, shows that he didn't hit him in the head first. But before this part right here, he ended up catching him on the shoulder. And as you can see, the ball is actually in his hands. So it wasn't like he was by himself. So like he was defenseless. He had the ball in his hands. It hit, he hit his shoulder first, and then it bounced off, and it pretty much just nailed him in his face. The guy was out cold. I believe he has a concussion. Later on, they kicked Michael Hyde out of the game. They which was fine because later on we find out the last 2 days he hasn't practiced because he actually has a concussion. So I mean, they did collide their heads after the big hit at first, and that was it. But as you can see,
right there.
Yeah, and the ball's in his hand.
Right there, he hit with his shoulder.
Yeah. So it wasn't like he hit him dirty, but people were driving me crazy saying, oh, it was a dirty hit, this, and that. And it's not true. Also, for last week, this is from, again, Buffalo Bills PR. Jerry Hughes finally stepped up, man. He had a great week. He's been quiet all year so far. He was named AFC Defensive Player of the Week. It's actually the first time he has the honor. I was surprised. I thought he'd had it before. He actually had 2 sacks, an interception, a forced fumble in the same game, and the first player to do so since Kansas City's Chris Jones in 2017. So, I mean, it was pretty nice that he actually stepped up this time. And he also tied Kyle Williams, our defensive tackle, for 5th most sacks in Bills history with 48.5. So, I mean, he put in a good game. Hopefully that keeps going, because our defensive line, even though we have, I think it's 11 sacks, or rank 11th, I believe, in the NFL, or 18th, it's kind of bad stat because we had 5 sacks this week. So it's padded. It looks better than it was because for weeks we couldn't even get a nice sack. We had 1 sack, and that was just coming from I can't think of his name right now. The defensive end. I can't think of his name. Drawing a blank. But it's crazy. Our line hasn't been there. They finally stepped up. Mario Addison, that's who it is. And yes, Vinny, I see. We agree. It was a clean hit. So that's more news. Another good thing to hear is John Brown. He was full in practice today. So we're going to have Brown up on our squad. I'll throw that up there too right now just to put it out there. Josh Allen, his left shoulder still bothering him, but he's been a full participant. John Brown with his knee. He didn't play last week, but he practiced fully Wednesday and today. Butler, his groin, he was limited. I think today was just more of a rest thing. Cody Ford, he didn't play last week, so let's see what happens with that knee injury. Everybody knows Jake Fromm is just limited. They're just keeping him for that whole COVID protocol. Jerry Hughes got the day off. Michael Hyde, as I said, which kind of stinks. Concussion. He didn't practice yesterday and didn't practice today. And the way it looks, he might not even play on Sunday. Cam Lewis, his wrist, he was limited, but I think he'll play. McKenzie, again, limited, but I think he'll also play. Matt Milano was running around practice with a red jersey. He got in some time against the Jets, which was nice to see. So he's limited. And Ryan Winters, his knee also limited. Josh Norman, we all know he's probably not going to play this week either. One good note, which I was liked about this game too, was that man right there, the rookie Dane Jackson out of Pitt. He deflected 2 passes, and he also had a interception in his first game as a pro. So, I mean, it was nice to see this kid putting in some work. It's a bright future for him, and it's going to help us out with all the injuries we have. I mean, he could slide into the nickel. I like the way he played. So that's something good to look out
for. So real quick, what's the story with Matt Milano? I have him on one of my fantasy teams. Every time I look, he's not playing.
Well, he played. He has I think it's a pec or something. I think it's his pec, and they had him sit out. I think 2 weeks. First it was his hamstrings, and I believe he has a strained pec or something going on. But he's supposed to be. He's coming back slowly. He's not full, but he's playing.
I caught him.
Beast. You got him.
Every week, I gotta find a linebacker last minute to put him to my lineup.
Well, look at this. We're going to segue. Hey, we're going to segue. The Bills, there you go, added Andre Smith. He's been signed up to the starting from the practice squad. They picked him up last week, and he's on the practice squad. And now let's get to Vinny's thing here, because Vinny was talking about this. He sent me a text that Ian Rappaport reports ex-Jet / Chief Darren Lee is expected to join the Bills once he passes the COVID-19 protocol. They just don't know if he's going to the practice squad or if he's going to be on the active roster. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. So we'll have some more depth for you to go pick up there, Bobby. So that's pretty good.
I like Darren Lee when he came out of Ohio State. I remember watching that one bowl game he was in. He was all over the place. And I was like, I want this guy. And then went to the Jets and almost did nothing. It was, kind of bizarre.
Well, he had a decent year. What was it? In 2016, he played in 13 games for the Jets. He had 71 total tackles, 43 solo, 28 assists. He had 1 sack, and he had 3 pass defended. The second year at that, in 2017, it wasn't actually bad. He played in 15 games. He had 90 tackles, 63 solos, so he was progressing. 27 assisted. He had 3 sacks, 3 pass defended again. Then we jumped down to 2018. He played in 12 games, so I don't know if this guy has injury problems or what. He had 74 tackles, 43 solos, 31 assists, 5 pass deflected. He had 3 actually interceptions, and he had a touchdown. He had an 82-yard return for a touchdown. So, I mean, it's not
he's like a tweener, right? He's like in between a safety and a linebacker, right? He's small.
Linebacker. He's kind of small, I believe. And then playing with Kansas City Chiefs last year, he saw 16 games. He had 31 total, 22 solos, 9 assists. So I guess he was more probably special teams or just, giving guys breaks once in a while. What else? What else I got on this guy? I think that's it right now, But, yeah, like you said, he's 5'1", 232. So, yeah, he's in between. He's a tweener.
5'1"?
No, 6'1", sorry. Yeah. And he's only 25. He has 5 years of experience. So, I mean, he's going to go in there and see what he could do. He'll probably end up playing special teams, which just gives us some more depth. Vinny's saying – Huh?
He'll help somebody.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. They're supposedly he's signing with the Bills if he clears protocol. Vinny was saying Milano hurt his back again, and that's what I believe he said. So, that's that. What else we want to go by and look? I got some more crap here. I got notes all over the place trying to keep up, Bobby. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Also, the Bills added Charles Jones. He's been signed to the practice squad, tight end, and played with Jacksonville last year. He's got a little long tooth there. He's been around the league for some time. So it's more depth because actually I could go to this too. See this? We got stuff all over the place, Bobby. Before the game last week, this is what happened. Bam, the Bills roster moves. They were informed that Dawson Knox had tested positive for COVID-19. I forgot about this. So he was placed on the COVID-19 list. Also with contact tracing protocols, 3 other players, tight end Lee Smith and tight end Tommy Sweeney, who's actually on the PUP list, and Nate Becker. So half of our tight ends, all of our tight ends except for 2 guys, must have been in this meeting. And luckily, I think Tyler Croft, the reason he wasn't there was because I think his wife was giving birth or at the doctor's, but I think she gave birth. So that's the reason he wasn't there. And I forgot why Reggie Gillian, our rookie tight end, wasn't there. But which I was happy to see. Duke Williams was brought up for the game against the Jets. He's one of the guys I liked. that really hasn't seen much action. So he finally got into the game. And Jordan Devey, heavy, and Andrew Smith and Dane Jackson all played, got in there. In addition, Tyrell Johnson, he was placed on injured reserve, like it said there. And that was it. So we're in COVID protocol with all our tight ends, which kind of
true story. Tyler Croft was the last Rutgers guy I ever interviewed when I covered the team. Okay.
No, see, I shoot these games, and I don't even remember half these guys. You could tell me I don't even know half of the players, who's on there, who's not. The one guy I remember was Carew, who actually liked. The guy was released in college, and then
he was actually pretty early too.
Yeah, he got drafted by Miami, and he went to their 5-string or something. He could never really get on the field, and he was a good return man. He was a good receiver. It was pretty sad that you never seen him actually play.
Well, there's a guy right there, like a Darren Lee, who they're young yet. I mean, who knows if he's still in game shape or if he's still working out or not. But that's why you need another league. You need something else out there for these guys to prepare for, whether it be NFL Europe or whether it be an XFL where they can get some. How many guys have you heard this year watching these broadcasts were in one of those 2 leagues last year, this spring? So the guys are getting opportunities. So there's got to be something else to get these guys in shape. And maybe this whole COVID year will bring that out, that there's a need for some kind of a minor league for these guys to play. And you know what? There's a minor league in the spring with the NFL's backing. We're going to watch it, aren't we? Yes, we are.
Yeah, I mean, I would watch it. I used to watch the European League, right? The one, the Barcelona Dragons or all those guys. I used to watch some of those. But The Rock ended up buying the XFL. So I want to see what happens with that, See, I could see him. Go ahead.
When he puts his paws on something, it doesn't fail.
No.
And look what he's doing on TV now with the Gladiator and stuff. It's gonna do something.
Yeah.
We'll see, but it's not gonna make it fail.
Yeah, the Titan games. I think it's huge. Everybody watches. I actually watched the seasons. They actually had the Browns' old offensive lineman. I forgot his name. He was a beast for the Browns. He played with him his whole career. Joe Thomas? I can't remember the lineman. He played for the Cleveland Browns. His whole career he played there. So he was considered one of their Titans on the show.
See, if I was producing the show, I'd look up for you, but I'm not.
You're actually interacting. You're helping me out. Try to last the whole hour. So, yeah, Croft, he's actually been stepping up, the guy. His problem is he was always injured. So far this year, knock on wood, he hasn't been injured. So he's been able to contribute.
I know, we're going to tell our buddy Vinny here that, we're getting some good numbers tonight because I guess, you got some star power on the show today. So let's get Vinny back here,
We're going to have to boot Vinny. That's what you're saying?
Nah, never. He's my boy.
No, I'm just joking. Here we go. All right, where am I? See, I'm all over.
Right, man.
Okay, man, let's keep going. Vinny, by the way, I said before, guard John Feliciano, who's actually going, a.k.a. Mongo, he's been activated from the IR. He should be playing this Sunday, which is huge because the guy is a beast, especially in the run game. And we could use that. Our run game has been a little iffy, so that'll be huge for us. Hopefully he plays. Another note was the Bills released Ike Brown. Actually, he was finally waived because he said he was a rookie, undrafted rookie this year, and he retired. He said he didn't want to play ball, but he has had to change the heart and wants to resume his career. So the Bills waived him. Now he's free to sign with whoever he wants. So good for him. Good luck. Hopefully he finds a spot. And what did you think? I don't know. Did you see that Eric Reed was offered a spot on the practice squad for the Washington Football Club or football team? I mean,
I heard you mention it before. Not a big Eric Reed guy.
Okay. My thing is, you complain that you're blackballed. You're finally getting a chance to play, and you're saying, no, I don't want to go to the practice squad. Yeah. Like, if you want, show what you could do. Their safety is actually hurt. If you go in there, do a good job, hey, you have a spot. You got to earn your spot. You're just not going to be given this.
Not only that, you're auditioning for other teams. It's all game film, and no matter what experience you have or how much money you made, you're still getting yourself out there for other people to look at.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, it drives me crazy because there's no reason for it, man. Go out there, show what you could do, put in the work. I mean, what's the problem? You don't complain if you're not going to try to get back in or do the work. Don't say you're blackballed. You're not just going to get this contract when half the guys are playing through this, especially with COVID, and nobody knows, so they want to see what you could do. You've been sitting in your couch for almost a year, well over a year. Put in the work, show what you could do, get out there and do it.
And you know what? Football or any sport or almost any profession, any job you have there, if you're not happy, there's somebody else who wants your position, who's hungry.
Yeah. That's why you got all these rookies coming out, man, every year. That's why the preseason is important. These rookies didn't get to show what they could do. They're just in practice, and it's totally different. I mean, who knows? If Dane Jackson would have been in a preseason game or two, he might have been starting. Maybe the Bills had more depth and they didn't even know what they had, and now the kids.
Put up his picture again. Who's the last picture you put up of the cornerback?
That's Dane Jackson.
My boy needs some leg work, though, man. Look at those thin legs. Am I wrong? I saw that before. I'm like, that guy needs some workouts there, man.
Well, he's a corner. He doesn't need no legs. He just needs to run fast.
I don't know.
Well, listen, you cover sports, man. You watch basketball. Half of these basketball players, you look at their legs, and they look like toothpicks, man. I don't know how they jump high. They barely have any calves. Their legs are like this big. Grant Hill's legs were this big. It used to drive me crazy when I see these guys. I couldn't believe it. Insane. All right. I'm going to start talking about the game against the Pats coming up. Pats are 2-4 this year. Bills are 5-2. We're heading down to New England. So far, good news for us. Julian Edelman, he's got a bad knee. They're saying he might miss a few weeks, which is.
This is your first time playing the Bills this year?
Huh?
First time playing the Bills, right?
Yeah, first time is
real quick. I read something before where someone posted that Stephon Gilmore's house is for sale. He's already expecting to be traded.
Really?
Week.
Wow, I would be surprised if they trade him. I mean, unless he goes to one of a contending team, who's going to give up for all that money? And
Seattle.
They could use him, but who are they going to give up? Or what are they going to give up for Stephon? You're going to have to give up a first-round pick, or you got to give him a receiver or something. I would be surprised. But they're making moves, so who knows? Yeah, that's crazy. N'Keal Harry, their other starting wide receiver, he's in concussion protocol, so he's not going to play. Their defensive tackle, Carl Davis, he's in concussion protocol, so he's not going to play. I mean, the first time the Bills played the Pats was in September 23rd, 1960. Bills won 13-0 that game. But in total, last year the Bills played them. December 21st was the last game. Pats won 24-17. In total, they've met 119 times, including playoffs or whatever. The Pats lead the series, sad to say, 76-43 and one tie. It was ridiculous. So another thing they're saying is that there's possible rain this game, like torrential rain with 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. So this good thing we have Feliciano coming back. Hopefully his pec is fine. He had surgery on it. And hopefully we can run the ball because this is going to be a messy game. I don't know how much throwing is going to be happening with 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. Last week, the Pats got beat up. They did not look good at all. I'm hoping the Bills can continue playing defense like they did. We're getting some guys back. And hopefully we'll be able to hand this team a loss finally. The non-Tom Brady era finally coming.
The Bills got to start getting the ball to Zach Moss more.
He did have more carries than Singletary last week, which is good. And he did out.
He looked good.
Yeah, no, he sat for 2 games. 2 or 3 games because he was hurt. He's finally back. Yeah, he put up some decent numbers. He had he had 3 catches for 25 yards, and he rushed for 47 yards on 7 carries. He averaged 6.7 yards a carry. Singletary had 8 carries. He had 29 yards. He averaged 3.6. Before this game, They were both averaging around 3.4, 3.5 or something like that. So, he's got to get his motor going. And the good thing with him is, like I told Vinny, I could see him catching the ball, and if he does it, he's going to get more time. They're pretty much splitting between them. Moss might be getting a little bit more than he is. So, and he's a beast, man. He can run hard, and, he looks good out there. So, yeah, this is going to be probably a run-heavy game. It might be a problem for the Bills. They look good against the Jets, but prior weeks to that, we couldn't stop the run for anything. So if we get into a run battle and we can't stop the run, we might lose this game. So
I think Moss should be your feature back and have Singletary as your I forget his name. As your third rep, change your pace guy.
Well, the good thing about that is that they where's all my other things here? You
gotta read this.
There it is, yeah. Hey, well, your co-host did an awesome job dressing up as See that? You notice, huh, Kenny? It's for Halloween, bro. It's for Halloween. So, no, Singletary, you know what? He is like a third back. But the one thing I like about him, Moss is more of that punishing back. Singletary's like very crafty, and he cuts a lot. So you get a change of pace, which I like. It's almost like, say, the Barber days with Ron Dane. Was it? Did Ron Dane play with him? When you had the big back, and then you had
Shipping. Oh, yeah. We had Thunder and Lightning. Then we had Thunder, Lightning, and Rain the 1 year, and the 3 running backs.
Yeah.
The 1 year.
Yep. So that's the one thing I like about them. And when they were saying about bringing in possible Le'Veon Bell, I thought it would have been pretty cool with them because he's kind of like both. He could punish you a little, but he is fast, and he could catch out there too. So, I mean, do you have Zach on your fantasy team?
I had him the whole time. I had to cut him eventually because I needed a roster spot. I couldn't hold on to him anymore.
You see, I have him on my squad too, and I think I started him last week because one of my other backs had a bye or they hurt, something like that. So yeah, so no, they need to get him involved, especially if it's going to be a 40 to 40. 50 mile per hour winds. They really need to start running that ball. So whoever can get the ground game, that's it.
I think this is a huge game for your Buffalo Bills because you got to even though Brady's not there anymore, you got to slay the demon. You got to get that monkey off your back. Brady there or not, you got to beat that team and show them who's boss in this division. Because don't forget, Dolphins aren't playing that bad either. And real quick, I haven't said anything yet about this, and it's been eating me up a little bit. I think the Dolphins effed up by benching Fitzpatrick right now.
Yep. Well, we said that last week. Both Vinny and I agreed. I said, why? Why are you doing this now? Especially if they're starting to gel. They're starting to win. Fitzpatrick, he's not a bad quarterback. If the guy has weapons, he could put up numbers. Sometimes he gets a little crazy. He tries to force a ball or something. But the guy puts up numbers. When he was with the Bills and they gave him the contract, he was doing good. He was doing great. You had Chandler, you had Stevie Johnson, and you had Lee Evans. And the problem with the Buffalo Bills for years were once they had a good combo, they let one guy go. You had Eric Moulds, Lee Evans, they let Eric Moulds go. You had Eric Moulds and Peerless Price, they let Peerless Price go because you had another guy step up. When I saw that, I was like, all right, we're going to have Lee Evans, Stevie Johnson, and we had Roscoe Parrish in the slot. Fine. You had Chandler, who came over from, I think it was the Cowboys. He actually Fitzpatrick made him like a household name for a while coming from the Cowboys. He wasn't doing much, and Chandler was doing great with us. And then what did they do? They traded Lee Evans. So now Stevie's getting all the attention around one-on-one, and he couldn't get away. You have the combos, the 1 and 2s. Look at Wayne Corbett and Keyshawn Johnson. We're doing great. And then they broke him up. Wayne Corbett, he was still good, but he wasn't as good when he had Keyshawn Johnson on the other side. So finally now with this squad and these GMs, we have good receivers going back to, say, like the Kelly days when we actually was probably the only time we had multiple receivers. You had BB, Andre Reed, and James Lofton before they messed it up. And then we had Pete Metzelaars as a tight end. We had good weapons. So now they're finally getting back to that and seeing that. You can't break it up all the time. And these guys can't have ego. So far, Diggs has looked good, and he's gotten along with everybody. Even though we posted last week that Cole Beasley was second behind him with 22 less targets, and then everybody else was under that. So you still need to spread the ball. You have enough weapons, spread the ball, no need to force it. That's the way I look at it.
Another question from Kenny.
Well, any concerns about how the Bills have been playing lately, and any concerns with the Pats coming to town? With the weather, I don't like this weather. The good thing about the Pats, which I said, it kind of helps us out. Bad for the players, but they're two of their main wide receivers are in concussion. No, one's in concussion protocol, and Julian Edelman's going to miss this game and possibly some more with a knee problem. So, hey, we got two less weapons we have to worry about. I like that, which is good. It's the Pats, and it's Belichick, so you always going to worry about him. You know he's going to put a good game plan together. You don't know how Cam's going to do. Hopefully he craps the bed. I mean, that's the one thing. We got to go on there and win. Because like I said before, I'm looking over here at the Bills' schedule. This is a game you need to win. Huh?
I think Cam's hurt.
Well, they were saying he's still playing. So hopefully he plays because Belichick said he's not going to bench him and that he's going to be their starter. So hopefully that happens. But this is the problem I'm looking at. They need to win this game. They'll be at 6-2. Even though I went, I think they could go 12-4. That's what I said. They had that top 5 defense last year. I think they were ranked 3rd. So I was expecting that because we had the same players. We just got better, I thought, on the defensive front, even though they're not playing like that, even though they did this week against the Jets. Now, after this week, who do we face? We face the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, their defense is a little suspect, but they have offensive weapons all over the place, and you got Russell Wilson, who's a beast. After that, who do we face? Arizona Cardinals. They've been it's an team, but there's weeks these guys show up.
They're great one week and they're horrible the next. So they're still young. That's a trademark of a young team.
Yes, and I'm hoping we get the horrible team, but that's going to be a fight. That's going to be a good game. After that, you play the Chargers. Okay, Herbert's been playing well, this kid, and you still got the Chargers defense. The defense is still a good D. You just got to control that offense. That's a tough game too. After that, what do we got? San Francisco 49ers. I think they could beat the 49ers, but if the 49ers play like last year's team, that's going to be a hell of a fight. That's another game, it could go either way. And then week 14, we would have played Pittsburgh Steelers. We beat them last year, but that was with Mason Rudolph, not Big Ben. Big Ben's actually playing a lot better than I thought he'd be playing this year.
That's going to be your preview. That's going to be your AFC Championship preview right there.
And then who do we face after them? The Denver Broncos. At this point, most of their players should be back. They had a lot of injuries, So that's going to be a tough game. I think the Bills could beat them. They should beat them. I guess Kurt and I will have to come up with a kind of bet in the K&K show against the Viva Los Bills show or something. And then we played the Patriots again and then the Dolphins. Be careful with Seahawks from I saw that too. Carlos Dunlap got traded, so they're helping out their defense. They're trying to do what they could do.
Like I said, I think Seattle with Dunlap, one more move because that defense needs help.
Yeah,
so that's one more big move happening with Seattle's defense.
But I mean, I could look it up. What's Seattle's cap at? How are they getting these guys? It's got to be up there. I don't think they had that much money. So, but they're making moves. They're doing what they have to do. I mean, their offense, their wide receivers are just insane. It's tough. If they can win that game, I'm a true believer at a dark horse to make it AFC Championship. I think if they make it into the playoffs, they got a good shot to make it all the way. Kansas City's tough, yeah. Tennessee's tough, and Baltimore's tough, and Pittsburgh's tough. Well, those are your main squads there. But I'm not a true believer in Kansas City's defense. Pittsburgh seems to be the all-around team right now, and I didn't even think they were that great, and they're just showing to be like, hey, the bullies over there. Tennessee, if they have that run and passing game on point, they look good. You can't tell me they didn't practice those weeks, by the way. So that was a bunch of BS. So they practiced.
Yeah, good point by Kenny here, by the way.
Seattle was in talks for Clowney, though, so I think they have some money. Oh, yeah, they had like 20.
They have Russell with a big contract, but who else on the team really would have an enormous contract? They got a lot of role players,
That's true, but
a lot of their spot on the team, and there's no real superstars aside from Russell Wilson. You got Jamal Adams, right? He's a trade.
I'll tell you, let's see. I'll tell you right now. Salary cap. Where is this for the freaking Seattle Seahawks? They have $3.7 million worth of cap space right now. according to.
Yeah, so it would have to be a trade. I have to dump some salary somewhere.
Well, that's what it says right here, that they have team cap space $3,723,000 with $78 too. So you're not even at 3.8. So I mean, they would have to trade somebody making a big contract or a decent contract here to go. I mean, Russell has the top one at 18. Bobby Wagner's making 10. Dwayne Brown is making 8. Tyler Lockett's 8. So, I mean, unless you're going to bring in Antonio Brown and you could trade Tyler Lockett, which I wouldn't do because Lockett's like a beast there, you know. They only have only $1 million. They don't have much money according to this site right here. You know, a lot of money. So I don't know how they make these moves. It's like the Pittsburgh Penguins when they would get all these big name players and still be on the salary cap. Used to drive me crazy. Anyway, like I said, it's a game they have to win. The rest of the road is a tough road, and the Bills are going to have to step up and play some good ball. And that's about it. I mean, that's all I have to say on this. Hopefully they can slow Cam down. Hopefully Cam is wobbly and a little in la-la land or something. You know, hopefully they trade Stephon Gilmore, like you're saying. There's rumors about it. This way he doesn't shut down or play against Diggs. But even though John Brown burnt him last year, you know, I'd like to see that matchup again. I'd like to see Diggs and him go at it because Stephon was talking some crap to him, you know. So let's see how it goes. Anything else on this game, Bobby, before we start some picks?
No, I'm good. Like I said, it's a game it's almost a must win early in the season. And not so much for your record, I think it's for your psyche. A couple of tough losses, you know, a so-so matchup against the Jets. So you need to come out here and, like, just smack them in the face, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And like you said, they need to get that monkey off their back. You know, they stopped the run pretty much last week, Benny. So hopefully they could do it again. What did they give up last week on the run? Let's see, rushing. Rushing last week, they gave up actually 100 yards rushing in total. But again, they stopped the Jets to 4 yards in the second half last week. They did great adjustments. So, with those estimated wins, I know. I don't think that ball is going to be flying anywhere unless it's quick slants. A lot of quick slants, maybe little hooks. There's not going to be much of deep ball pass in that game. So, again, like I said, I think it's going to come down whoever controls the ball with the running game. And that's going to be it. All right, let's move on because we're almost done here with the man Big Bobby helping me out here because I was on my own. Last week, I went 9-4 with one push. One of my parlays didn't do too good and lost. The other one, 2 out of the 3 of the games. So you would have got paid out for 2 games if you would have went with my parlays. All right, this week's on the bye. We have the Cardinals, Washington, Jaguars, and Texans all on the bye. Beasley, big day.
I'm playing in the one league, in the K&K league. I'm on the number 1 team in the league, and I'm playing Kenny, who's also with the same record. So, all I
know, Bobby, is I heard you were like complaining about some trade. I don't know. This was the rumor. That's what I heard on the K&K show.
That's right. There's no way anybody should be trading with the team that's 0-7 right now.
Is it a keeper league?
No.
I got it.
Don't worry. Kenny, I got something in the works myself. Don't worry about it.
I had one league one time. One of my buddies, he was out of it, I think, like you said, or he was like, had 2 wins because of something. This is when Mike Allstott was playing. I think I traded for Mike Allstott and somebody else. It was a decent trade, like for both of us. People flipped out. I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this no more. Stopped. I was like, you guys are going to kill my one trade. And it was an even trade. It was like, get out of here. All right, anyway, here we go. Atlanta, Carolina tonight. My running back, McCaffrey, he was taken off the IR, but he's not playing today. So, man, I think this is an ugly game. I just don't know.
Atlanta,
yeah, I think, huh?
3-0 Atlanta.
Oh, it is already? Well, I'm going to make believe I don't know that. I'm going to go with Carolina giving up 2.5 points. That's what it was on ESPN this afternoon when I wrote it down. So I would go with Carolina at home against Atlanta. I just don't trust Atlanta. Atlanta is crazy. Said the same thing last week about them, and I think they lost. Tennessee heading into Cincinnati. Tennessee is giving up 5.5 to Cincinnati. Cincinnati's been playing well, but Tennessee's been playing better. These guys just look like a well-oiled machine just running over people. I'm going to take Tennessee, giving up 5.5. And you know what? I must say, Joe Burrow's playing a lot better than I thought he would be playing. I thought Cincinnati wasn't going to be competitive at all, and they've been competitive some of these, in a good amount of these games.
Yeah, but there's some dissension though. There's some dissension with some of the star players there in Cincinnati. Like, a lot of the star players don't want to stick around for the rebuild. So they don't want to get traded now.
Well, that's the problem. Like one of my buddies was talking to him about Falcons finding another way to lose 9 in the last minute Carolina all day. Well, it's possible. It's just what they do. It's insane. They should just trade poor Julio Jones out of there. I don't know who's going to take the contract, but that guy's a beast. He should be playing somewhere else. That's what I was talking to my buddy about, like you said, Fitzpatrick. And he's like, well, it's Tua's time. What if Tua goes in there and craps the bed for 2 games? You know, are you going to bring back Fitzpatrick, or are you just going to ride it out? And another thing.
Why are you playing Tua against the Rams defense?
I know that too. That's what I said.
Snap him in half.
And my thing, I told him.
Makes sense.
Well, it was like bad analogy, but when the Bills took Peterman and threw Peterman against the Chargers, who had the best rush defense in the league, a sack defense at that time, they ate him up. What did you think was going to happen to the kid? You know, you throw him against the Sharks, you cut him a little and throw him towards the Great Whites. It makes no sense. My thing is, okay, you're going to put him against Tua. Let's see what he does. But now you have the rest of the team, those vets who've been there, but like, hey, we're 3-3. If the Bills lose and we win, we're right there with them for the division. So his thing was like, hey, why even bother make the playoffs? You're not going to be able to compete against Kansas City, Baltimore, and them. I'm like, but you never know. Any given Sunday, you get into the playoffs. That's your first thing. You get in the playoffs, you play your butt off, you could get to the Super Bowl, you could win. Didn't the Giants win one year at 9-7? They got into the playoffs or something like that, and they won
7.
Yeah. So I'm like, why would you toss it away? Now, if the difference was, let's say, Miami was 2-4, 2-5, and you said, okay, we're going to start Tua. I get it. There's a very hard chance you're going to make the playoffs. So go for what you got to do. It's just bad. I don't think it's good. Tua sells, and if he can't sell seats, he can sell jerseys. I get that too, but if the kid, who knows how healthy he is after that surgery? They say he's healthy. Okay, now he's going to get popped by these big-time guys. You're going to get smashed by Darnold. Let's see how healthy he is. Let's see how well he could do against that.
Every time you saw a quarterback playing well, all of a sudden, now you're getting benched. Usually you bench somebody when they're playing a crap. Like
yeah,
should be getting benched.
Exactly. Well, he has a broken his thumb backed up, so it doesn't matter now for him. But yeah, he's playing. You're competitive. You're one game out of the first spot of the AFC East. There's no reason to sit him. I think it's just dumb. And me personally, if I was like, say, Jarvis Landry, I'd be kind of pissed. You know, I'm like, yo, we're competitive right now. We could get into the playoffs possibly, and you're going to sit our main guy. But if Tua goes and wins this game, wins the next game, they're going to look like geniuses. So we'll see how it turns out. Las Vegas.
On Patrick, where does he go? Cowboys, you think?
Who?
Fitzpatrick.
Well, that was a rumor, right? They were saying to the Cowboys. I mean, Andy Dalton got jacked up, man. Oh, my God. That was a cheap shot. Talk about cheap shots. There was no reason for him to get hit like that. He was already sliding. They just took his head out. And McCarthy got pissed that nobody defended him. I kind of agree with him. Like, damn, man, nobody even stepped up. Nobody likes him like that. Well, I agree 100%. I think there's a hidden reason. Yeah, they're trying to tank. Everybody's tanking. They have a lot of picks. They want to get good picks next year. It's just dumb to me. I'd rather win or show what we can do and then say, hey, listen, free agents, look at it. We're building. We're moving forward. We're trying. Okay, you know what? You want to start next year with Tua? Fine. But you know you're fighting. You're not just tanking. That's the way I look at it. Maybe I'm wrong. Cleveland, the Vegas Raiders are heading into the Cleveland dog pound. Cleveland is actually right now giving up 2.5. Man, Odell being knocked out for the rest of the year. is kind of big. The kid's Riggins actually.
I think I'll mention this to a few people. I think Odell being knocked out actually helps the Browns offense.
Well, the kid, what is it? Riggins, I believe it is. He stepped up. Higgins, yeah. He stepped up.
Not Higgins. Yeah.
I think it was Riggins or something. I don't know.
Riggins,
Yeah. He actually played well. So, it's just you're going to have less of an ego. And this team's playing a lot better than I thought. And I think actually Vegas might get upset here. I think Cleveland's going to protect their house and play well and beat them. I think they could beat them by 3 easily. Right now it's 2.5. Should be no reason for them not to. Indy heading into Detroit. Indy's giving up 3. Man, Indy is a team I can't get behind. I know their defense is pretty good. Phillips Rivers is just, I don't know, man. I just think he's done. And it's so bad when T.Y. Hilton's not even putting up numbers, man. I can't see it. I think Detroit upsets them. I think they beat Indy this week.
Detroit is playing with a fire. I mean, that coach, Matt Patricia, is playing with a bullseye on his back. And think about it. Those 2 games he lost by a few points. Now, those are wins. Where's Detroit right now? Where Chicago is, right? So Chicago's not, they're not going to sustain that lead. And I'm not a really big believer of the Packers either. Packers can just turn around and fall pretty quickly.
Yeah, I was surprised on how the Packers are doing. I didn't think they were going to beat that. There you go. Look at that. Kurt actually agrees with
trade package. Come on, give me a trade package.
Trade package. Come on, look at that. He's trying to make moves here, Kurt. So Kurt and I agree. All right, heading now. Minnesota is actually heading to Green Bay -6.5. What is this? I think he stays, but Tua gets hurt. What about Jameis Winston? I don't know.
Jameis Winston's going to be a starting quarterback next year in this league. Watch.
He probably will. I thought Jameis was going to go to Miami. That's what was my prediction before he got picked up. I thought he would go to Miami. And if not Miami, it was it Jacksonville? I thought he was going to stay in Florida. Minnesota heading down to Green Bay. Green Bay is giving up 6.5. I think Green Bay laid the smackdown on Minnesota last time. Lazard's actually starting to practice. I don't know if he's going to play this week, but the way Minnesota went in there last time, I think Green Bay just holds down the fort, smacks him up again, covers that 6.5 without no problem.
Well, I think Green Bay is a prime destination for, like you mentioned, a Julio Jones or an AJ Green.
Yeah, I mean, would you take a shot?
Marvin Jones from Detroit?
Would you take a shot with AJ?
Look, how many more years does Rodgers have left there? Because the writing's on the wall, right? So they got to do it now. What's his name? Baker Mayfield's playing well this year. I was saying I could see Rodgers going to Cleveland if Baker didn't play well, especially with Odell and Jarvis Landry and the weapons they have there. I thought Tom Brady was going to go. Well, that was my dark horse for Tom Brady because of all the weapons they have on offense. That would be a great spot for Rodgers. Why not for a year or 2? But again, difference is Baker's playing well, so I don't think they would do that. Largest spread of the week right here. The Jets are going into Kansas City, and Kansas City is giving up 19.5 points. Yeah, I'm going to be crazy. I'm going to take the Jets getting the point spread here. Yeah, well, the Kansas City cover 19.5. They should, but I don't think they are. I think the Jets are going to surprise people, and they're going to keep it within that point spread. Here's the problem with that spread also. Andy Reid is a good guy. Mm-hmm. Unless you're a division rival, he's not going to rub it in. Right. So if the Jets can hang in there like they do against Buffalo, yeah, they should cover that. They should cover that.
I think they cover it. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think they cover it. Here we go. We're talking about the game before. Huh?
Here we go.
Oh, before you end your show, Will, tonight I want to start a debate. Do you believe Josh Allen is a franchise quarterback? Excuse me. Meaning 5 to 7, at least $35 million a year. I think I was on the show and I talked about this, or I commented on it when they asked, Yes, I do believe it, especially if that's the going rate for quarterbacks when his contract. I think his contract's up next year or the year after that. Uh, I think so. If he continues to put up the numbers he's improved every year. Why not? And especially when you look at the league and you see how some of these quarterbacks don't even pan out. You know, you're going to put in all this time. The kid's getting better. You're putting all this. Yeah, I know Kurt. I thought Kurt said yeah. I said yes. I know Kurt said no. Okay. So I would do it. I'm okay. I remember Kurt said he didn't like all the money. And I don't agree with the amount of money these guys are getting paid. I think it's insane because eventually it's going to hurt the rest of your squad. Because if you're paying him $35 million, that's a chunk of change that could be going to at least two other players in there, and you're just giving it to one guy. That's the one thing I don't like. So I agree with Kurt with that. But will I pay him? Yes. If that's the going rate, yes. As long as he continues to improve, why not pay the guy? He's showing that he could be a beast and he can help you do well. He just needs to win a playoff game. Let's see how down the stretch this team does. Rams heading into Miami. Rams are giving up 3.5. I like the Rams to cover that, especially with Tua, since we don't know what the kid could do at the pro level. And the Rams defense is still pretty nasty. So Ramsey's going to go after Tua. Darnold's going to go all over the place like a crazy man. Division game here. Pitt against Baltimore. Baltimore is minus 3.5, which I'm surprised, I guess, because they're home. I'm going to take Pitt getting 3.5 against Baltimore. I don't know why. I understand Baltimore is a beast of a team, but Pitt's just playing all around good football. They're playing good on the run.
I think Lamar Jackson is taking a step back from last year, and the jury's out on him.
Yeah. Well, that's what I always say about these guys, most of them, especially in their second or third year. Defenses are finally have enough video on them. That was like Colin Kaepernick. When he came out, he was a beast. Second year, people started watching films. They knew how to contain the guy. And, you saw a different player, and his numbers went down. But Lamar's still a beast. He has a lot of weapons there. So, if he plays smart, the guy could throw like anybody out there. He's good on the run. He just has to keep his cool, play smart. And they still have a good squad. It's going to be a nice game to watch, especially a defensive game probably. Bo prediction throws a pick six early in the first quarter, and then he calms down and has a decent game where Rams win. I can see it. Let's see how that all-around team. I can see the Rams just running the ball all day on them too. Chargers going into Denver, going into Kurt's peeps. Philip Lindsay, I think, was practicing, so he might be back.
Thought he was out.
Was he? I thought he was starting to practice, and he was been out there. Or is he out for this game? All right. See, I was reading something else then. I don't know about Denver. Denver's iffy to me. They look good one week, then the next week is like, eh. See, Lindsay was practicing on Wednesday. But he suffered a concussion in last week's game. So who knows? He's going through position drills, so maybe it's a game time thing. I don't know. Without Lindsay is what's his name back the back? I think I might take the Chargers. Skip this game. True. But I think I'm going to take the Chargers going up to Denver. Kurt might not be happy. But I think Chargers win this game. New Orleans.
By the way, right now, Justin Herbert.
Huh?
The rookie of the year. What do you think?
Herbert?
Yeah.
Oh, man. What's their record? I don't know.
He's putting up. The numbers are incredible. He's putting up.
Yeah. No, he's playing really good. I said they should have started him. I never liked Tyrod Taylor. I didn't think he was that good. The guy's been playing like a beast. I really haven't been watching anybody else's numbers. The running back from Kansas City, you might be able to say. I think if they're able to make the playoffs, he'll definitely probably win it, rookie of the year. Again, I really haven't paid much attention to some of these rookies. So I'm not 100%, but the guy, he looks good. He's the real deal. New Orleans heading into Chicago. New Orleans minus 4.5. I think the Saints go in there and beat up on Chicago. I'll take New Orleans. San Fran heading into Seattle. Herbert right now, but Burrow right there. I think Burrow's problem is they're not really winning. So I don't know about that. Herbert, at least we have two good quarterbacks, who are going to be good in this league. They're already showing what they could do, and they don't even. Well, Herbert has more weapons than Burrow. Just imagine if Burrow had some more weapons and Nixon wasn't hurt every week.
Mm-hmm.
San Fran going into Seattle. Seattle's -3 at home. What San Fran team is going to show up? That's my thing. I love Seattle. Seattle's always close, either giving about 3.5, or getting about 3.5. I'm going to take. I think I'm going to go with Seattle -3. Even though if San Fran shows up like the real squad, they might beat this team. They might beat Seattle. And if that's the case,
is there a scenario where all NFC West teams make the playoffs? There's an extra playoff this year.
Is it the way it's set up? I know. Usually 2 of them can make it. I don't know if all of them can make it. I'd have to look up the whole the way they have it set up this year. Dallas heading into Philly. Philly -9. You're telling me Dallas is that bad? Who's Dallas's quarterback now? I don't even know. Upset of the week, Will. Mike Thomas is a head case. Yeah, I want to know what the hell's going on with Mike Thomas. I heard you guys talking about it. I agreed with what's his name on your show? Forgot, the Jet fan. Yeah, something's up with Mike Thomas. You can't tell me his high ankle sprain is still bothering him. After the fight, it's almost like he's just become a problem there. They're not happy with him. I wouldn't be surprised if they trade him if somebody gives them what they want.
You got paid this year? You got a big check this year. You got paid this year.
Yeah, they signed a big contract. He has a high ankle sprain, and he's been out. He got in trouble for fighting, I think it was a safety in there, and he still hasn't gotten on the field. So is it really an injury, or is it just him being a baby? He's Keyshawn Johnson's cousin, I believe, right? So, could be a head case. Who knows? The guy has so much talent. Maybe he needs a change of scenery. Dallas going into Philly. Philly -9. To me, that's a little crazy. -9. Who do you even know who Dallas's quarterback is at this point?
It's Ben DiNucci.
Who?
He's a Paisan.
Ben DiNucci. Oh, this guy Ben DiNucci. Listen, 9 points. Which Cowboy team is going to show up, man? I just don't know. Sad to say, I'm going to take Philly just out of default here, even though 9 points is a lot to me for Philly. But DiNucci, what is this guy? Is it a rookie?
Here's the problem with that game, though. Carson Wentz, because he's playing from behind so much, he's balling.
Yeah. I have that rook. They're running back, so hopefully he puts up some numbers for me.
The Cowboys. How much longer does McCarthy keep his job if this team flounders like this?
I think he keeps his job, but they fired the defensive coordinator. Come on, their strength. One of their strengths was their defense. Where the hell's their defense been? This defense is that bad? I know they had some injuries, but come on, man. That was went from a good D to crap. Tampa Bay going into your team, the New York Giants, -10.5 for Tampa. What Giant team is going to show up, Bobby?
I don't know. This was supposed to have been the Eli revenge game. They're going to retire his jersey in front of a national audience, but that's not going to happen. I think Will's frozen there, so I have to get Will back. So I think I don't know. I think Tampa Bay right now is rolling, but they will have a stumble here and there. But you got to be impressed with the way Brady's just tossing some, 5 touchdowns a game. So Smiley Will thinks Euclid will be there with his big smile. Yeah, but as Kenny said, we'll go back to Mike McCarthy. Yeah, I don't know. He can't keep his job much longer if he's going to be playing, to have a team with such high expectations playing this way. Hey, I guess I'm the host now of Viva Los Bills. Hello. Wait for Will to get back here so we can wrap it up. If you're not watching the game, it's 7-3 Carolina. So so Will's get back on. Vinny's on the road somewhere, and I'm here running the ship. This is Bobby Blackjack, Viva Los Bills, filling in for my cousin Vinny. Which actually I have a cousin Vinny, but not him. But my good friend Vinny from high school and a lot of years. So you're listening to Viva Los Bills. We got a few minutes to go here before we'll wrap it up. I'm sure Will. No, I'm good, Ken. I'm going to wrap it up now anyway. I'll give Will a couple seconds to come back on and say his goodbye. But again, this is Viva Los Bills. Another football Thursday night. It's pretty cool to watch produce the show while watching football, and now we got a few more months of that before this ends. Then we have no sports on TV, although maybe some college basketball or so. But I'll give Will a couple more seconds here to say his goodbye. If not, I will wrap it up. I'm going against Bridgewater here, and I'm playing Gurley, so I'm kind of watching both here. All right, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. If I'm not mistaken, this game is in Baltimore, correct? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think Pittsburgh's playing the best football right now of the two teams. Like I mentioned earlier, I think Lamar Jackson's, he's taken a step back from last year. He's not the same producer, of the runs, the touchdowns as last year. I believe you have a banged up Mark Ingram, which means you're left with the rookie Dobbins and Rutgers product Gus Edwards, running back. Two sleepers, by the way, for fantasy football. But I just think I hate to be a homer here, but I think Baltimore. These teams usually split. Hey, Ben, I'm a Steelers fan. All right, we're gonna see you guys in the AFC Championship. But no, I think it should be a great game. I'm hoping that on Sunday I can actually watch this game on TV. I don't have direct TV, but I'm hoping that game's on Channel 2. But hey, it should be a great game. But the history of these two teams seem to be they win in their home stadium and whatnot. So I would think this would be Baltimore's game, giving Pittsburgh their first loss. Well, I guess Will's not going to be jumping back on, so I'm going to call it. Yeah, another point there, Kenny. Yeah, extra week of preparation. I just love Pittsburgh's offense now. It's much more diversified than it was in the past. And don't forget, they have Ebron's still there. I know he drops a lot of passes, but he's another weapon for Big Ben here. I think Big Ben is right now on his way for comeback player of the year. So we'll see what happens. All right, I'm going to wrap it up for Will and for Vinny on the road. And Will says he can't get back on, but take the Bills minus 3.5. Well, Viva Los Bills will be back on next week. So will. So will my cousin Vinny. I'm going to call it. Watch some football here. And be safe out there. Don't forget to vote. We'll see what happens next week. Peace.